Ladies and gentlemen, another year, another pair of sunglasses. It's me, Majora T. And I'm very proud to welcome you all to the first installment of Majora T. Happy New Year, y'all. Majora T. This is my first time doing something like this. Now, I've had a lot of great ideas in the past, and I think some of you would be remiss to think that I would get rid of them. Remiss to think. Hold on, I gotta look this up. Did I even use that word right? It's a word that you use often, right? Remiss. You'd be negligent to. You'd be irresponsible to think. No, I'm not saying that. Okay, here's what I'm saying. I'm saying that you probably miss it if I just dropped reviews and Majora T Speaks and I just did update videos for the rest of the year, right? Well, don't worry. I found a way to keep all of that in check. And Majora T is going to be long and it's going to be intricate and in-depth. And I want to give you an overview and then I want to give you some context for it, okay? The overview is that this is like an hour-long special that I do every month, once, in the beginning of the month. And it's going to include the following. The week and or month in review. We'll call it month review. Impressions/review. So I'll pick one, maybe two games that I played or a book or something and review it in depth, intricately. Majora T Speaks. So from every previous month, I'll include Majora T Speaks where your comments get to be heard. And a table topics that's going to be used for the next Majora T Speaks. At the end of the video, I may do some kind of goal setting or general comments that I felt about, the month or the day or whatever's going through my head. But those are the four main things. And when I give you the videos in Majora T, they're not going to be high edited. In fact, they're not going to be edited at all. So, for instance, you're going to see Majora T Speaks today, but I'm not going to put the viewer comments on the side. I'm going to do that separately, and I'm going to post that as its own individual video. But this is a nice way for you to get some good content from me ahead of time. And I think this is going to work out real good and carry me through to the end of the year. So stick with me, and we'll make it work. I'm really looking forward to starting the new year right with y'all in today's first episode of Majora T. That always gives me a kick. I love doing that. Can I do that one more time? I'm going to do it one more time. Brace yourselves. Majora T. Oh, man, I cracked myself up. I cracked Charlie up, too. He's chirping over there. So after looking at myself with these on my head, I realized that I probably need to brush my hair. So to avoid doing that, I'm going to keep the sunglasses off my face. Regardless of that, I'm here to review, in this case, the week and what I've been playing, as well as things I've been reading, and what else has been going on in the life of Majora T. So I'm going to start with the game that I took with me to Texas over Christmas break. I did go to Texas. I spent about a week there. I stayed with my girlfriend and her family. It was a good time. So I'm happy about that. What I'm not happy about is not having finished Metroid Samus Returns. I'm on the final boss in this game. And I really enjoyed my time with it. And the final boss really put up a fight, which I appreciate. And I realized that with all of the upgrades that I had for Samus, missile upgrades, super missile upgrades, energy tank upgrades, I could not defeat this boss. It was a bit of a small area in which to fight the boss, but what I had started doing was going back and trying to find these upgrades throughout the game and the map. I started doing that, and I never finished. And somehow I seem to have misplaced my 2DS with this game inside of it. So I put that on hiatus. Regardless of that, I really do like this game. I found it fun hunting the Metroids. I thought this was a brilliant remake of Metroid 2, which is a game I never finished, but I did start. It's accessible, so it's not as convoluted as the original Metroid. You can use a scanner to see where hidden blocks in the wall are. I know that's a common complaint for the original Metroid. I know I had trouble with that aspect of Metroid. And the combat is good. It requires that you take it slow and you are attentive to enemy movements. So what will happen is enemies will make something of a gesture before they attack you. And when that happens, you need to press the X button on your 3DS and it'll counter the attack, and then you can start firing at them. It's the same way when you hunt the Metroids, and the game uses the feature in interesting ways. I didn't actually like it that much at first, but over time it did grow on me, especially seeing how the Metroids evolve throughout the game. If you have a 3DS and you're looking for a solid action platformer, it's got to be this one. This is probably one of the best games you can get on the 3DS. No bars hold. No holds barred. I forget what the expression is. Something like that, but you should get this game. This is a lot of fun. As far as what I've been reading, I'll start with the kanji first. So this is an extensive guide to kanji in the Japanese language. And I've owned this book for probably a good year and a half, but never really put it to good use until last month. So one thing you should know about the kanji is that there's over 1,500 or so. It says remembering and understanding the 2,136 standard characters. And there are two pronunciations for them, onyomi and kunyomi. And even within each of these, you know, the Chinese reading and the Japanese reading, that's the translation of onyomi and kunyomi. There's several ways to pronounce these characters. So it's actually really hard to memorize kanji unless you practice it faithfully. And one thing this book does that's really helpful is it organizes the kanji according to grade level. So within the first grade, you'll get characters like dog, inu. You'll get characters like small, ko. You'll get characters like big, dai. So like daimyo. You may have heard this word if you're familiar with Japanese culture. It's like a landowner, the big man or something. They'll put characters that look pretty similar close to each other. They'll put characters that have similar pronunciations next to each other. It's really helpful. And in the past month, I've managed to make flashcards for and review the first grade 80 characters. And it's the first time I've ever committed that much to learning kanji. I know hiragana and katakana very well, but kanji has always been challenging for me. And after having reviewed the first grade characters, I see them places and I can actually pronounce them. So my girlfriend got me a copy of Yu Yu Hakusho, the manga, and I had noticed the character for fast, which is hayai, and I think it looks like oh my gosh, what does it even look like? I can't remember now. It's like the flower one, but there's it's like a square in the middle and then a line going down. That was painful to explain. But there's the character for ku afterwards, which I recognize for hiragana. And when you put them together, it's hayaku. And if you watch any anime in Japanese, you'll hear this word all the time. It means like hurry up, hayaku. So it's nice to see that my efforts are paying off and that I'm just about ready to graduate the first grade in kanji, of course. So ganbatte to me, good luck. And I'm going to keep it up. As far as other stuff I've been reading, I started Isaac Asimov's The Gods Themselves. I believe this is one of his first books. I may be mistaken. But I always love Isaac Asimov. I've read probably like 5 or 6 books by the guy. Granted, the guy's written over or close to 300, which is a lot. But I love every work of his that I read. It started with Nightfall, went to the Foundation series. I've read 4 of those. And I've read nonfiction by him. I even subscribed to his magazine. Did you know he was responsible for a very popular science fiction magazine that continues to this day. It's called Asimov Science Fiction. I forget what the original was called, but it's really cool to see that the legacy lives on and that they publish works by contributing authors, and that you can even write for them, submit your stories, and possibly get paid. So the cool thing about the gods themselves, I'll give you a little context here. I originally thought this was an alien tale, but the interesting thing about aliens in science fiction, or the way it should be, is that they're not necessarily your typical vision of an alien, like a slimy creature or anything. No, they're extraterrestrial beings, like a Star Trekian way. So in the gods themselves, the extraterrestrials are part of a paraverse, which is a parallel universe, and they're able to communicate with the denizens of Earth via an electron pump. So they actually share a certain number of electrons, which causes some problems that you may see as you go through the book with stability in the universe itself. And the main scientist is somewhat of an outcast for believing that the electron pump is going to cause harm. Now, I'm only at page 69 right now, but I'm really looking forward to getting further into the gods themselves. I also got RoboCop on VHS. No, I'm totally joking. This is just a t-shirt, which you'll see later in this Majora T video. If you're watching it here, if you're watching this after the fact, go watch Majora T Speaks 5. But I thought this was an awesome throwback. I saw a VHS box at Target, and I was like, what the heck? Are they really selling RoboCop on VHS? I was like, oh, it's a t-shirt. It's pretty cool. Funko. Last game that I want to talk about, I do actually want to talk about Dragon Quest Builders, but I'm going to save that for when I get further into it. I want to talk about Hatsune Miku, Project Diva, which I just finished on the PS4. This is the first game I finished for the new year, so go me. Starting strong. January 5th, credits rolled. I like Miku. I like rhythm games, and I thought this one was serviceable. I'll get more into that in the review. But anyways, I just thought you should know that I finished my first game for the year, so I'm excited about that. That's it for the month in review. What have you been playing? Let me know. Be happy to check in. So, Majora T, out. Excuse me, I'm just rocking out to some Hatsune Miku. As I should. As should you, because Hatsune Miku is a pretty damn good rhythm game. If you know anything about your rhythm games or about Sega, one of Sega's major IPs in the past few years has been Hatsune Miku, that little blue hair girl who you know you can't resist. Or can you? Well, hopefully you can, because that's a little girl. Hatsune Miku is the cultural phenomenon that is a Vocaloid, meaning it's not even a real person. It's just generated sounds, as far as I'm aware anyway, that come together to make music. So I'm pretty sure all the instruments in all of the songs that go into Hatsune Miku games are genuine, but all of the singing is Vocaloid produced, which is pretty impressive. I think Hatsune Miku has actually performed on stage before, but then again, they're doing holograms for Tupac, so what do I know? And the games are a dime a dozen. There are plenty of Hatsune Miku games, at least in recent years. I enjoyed Project Mirai on the 3DS, and I just finished Project Diva X, I believe, on the PS4. I actually left my copy at my apartment, which is why I don't have it with me. For shame. But what's not for shame is that I finished it, and I thought it was a pretty fun game. There are some things you should be aware of before you play it, before you consider buying it. So, as a rhythm game, you're expected to input button commands. And the way it works in Project Diva is that you'll see button commands for all of the 4 main buttons on the PlayStation controller: square, triangle, circle, X. as well as stars, which are flicks of the control stick. There's also several button inputs that require you to press the shape button as well as the corresponding directional pad button. But one thing that I actually like about Project Diva is that you have the option of just pressing the directional button or the shape button. That sounds a little confusing. I wish I had a PlayStation controller to demonstrate it on, but I don't right now. What this means is that you can actually alternate if your hand is getting tired of just pressing the button. So if you want to do, like, you see a succession of circle buttons. Circle is the right button on the control pad. So pretend this is circle. You could also press this one. So you could actually do it back and forth, right, left. And that way your hand's not getting too tired. So Hatsune Miku is actually known for being a pretty difficult rhythm game. So any advantage that you have is worth taking advantage of. And I like that that's an addition to the game. You know, frequently I'll play these games on these systems like RPGs and my thumb just gets tired of pressing X all the time. So I appreciate that. You may not as much as I do. Maybe you got strong thumbs. I'd like to think I have strong thumbs, but you know, sometimes it's good to just relax and, you know, let my thumb stretch out. As far as the rhythm game itself, it's fun, it's addicting, and there's a system that feels rewarding, that feels like you're unlocking new things. So you have to go through each of 5 zones, which contain 4 or 5 songs. They're the cute zone, the quirky zone, the cool zone, and they all contain songs that are in that style, which on one hand is good because it keeps you playing. On the other hand, I feel like it actually cuts down the quality of the songs that you hear. So in replaying it, the game actually makes you go back and play each of the zones over again, which is a common tactic for video games, before you unlock the final song. And in replaying all of those songs, I found there were probably only 5 or 6 out of the 35 songs that I really liked and I would probably listen to again. That to me is not enough. I played Project Mirai on the 3DS, and I used to walk around with the 3DS closed and the music player playing, just listening to the songs, and I could tell you that I liked probably a good half of the songs. By comparison, this is like 20%. 20 to 50 is not good enough. That's not cutting it close. I found that the songs tried too hard to be certain contemporary styles. So like there were dubstep style songs, there was like a Halloween theme song, but I didn't really find them that pleasant to listen to. Granted, the game looks beautiful. You know, Project Mirai was a kiddie looking game, but this one is impressive. My problem is that it's known for the rhythm, for the music. And if the music isn't holding up to par, then nor is the game. So, you know, I'm still happy. I'm happy I got to play Project Diva. I keep wanting to call it Project Mirai. I'm happy I got to play Project Diva to the ends and to the credits. I actually thought the final song was pretty funny. I got a good kick out of it. But I don't know if it's going to be right for you. It really depends. Do you want a Miku game? If so, go for it. This is not a bad one. It's just that I don't think it's as impressive when it comes to track listing as the other one that I've played. Have you played it? Let me know what you think. Maybe I'm completely wrong. But that's it for me, Majora T. And that's my review for Hatsune Miku. I hope you enjoyed. I'm going to keep jamming out to these songs, though. Ba-shuba, 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 ooh, yeah! All right, we're going to do the Naruto Majora T Speaks, but before we do that, I got to get my bandana on. You know, I'm talking about Naruto. I got to dress the part, so give me a second. I'm going to show you how to do this real fast. T style. Oh, no. Look at that, 58 seconds with commentary. How you like that? Granted, it's not perfect, but I like the little bow tie on the ear and a little flap in the back. But that's just me. I want to hear about you. This is Majora T Speaks, and in Majora T Speaks, we hear what the Majora T has to say. I asked you last time, is Naruto hype actually? Let's see what you guys say. All right, so what I did is I filtered for the newest comments and I scrolled to the bottom. Right now, I'm looking at Terry309. He came in first saying, not an anime watcher, so I don't know anything about Naruto. I don't blame you. I wouldn't really call myself like an anime fan per se, but I do watch several animes. In my whole life, I've probably watched like 5 or 6 that are not just cartoons on TV. I mean like Japanese anime. Like I could count them on one hand. Can I? Naruto, Yu Yu Hakusho, Dragon Ball Z, Hunter x Hunter, Gurren Lagann. 2 hands. So 1 and a thumb. D. Credias is not a big Naruto guy at all. I was on the side of the DBZ boys. I respect the franchise, though, just never got into it. Hey, I respect that. I thought you handled that very cordially. It's very easy to come out and say, no, Naruto sucks. I don't watch that. It's for kids. But for sure, I like DBZ growing up, too. That was part of 90s culture, even early 2000s, turning on Cartoon Network and seeing DBZ play. I mean, that's just the life of the us 90s boys. I'm kind of categorizing you in that age group, but anyways, yeah, it's a sign of the times. Even now, DBZ Super is pretty strong and the kids like it. So Sporadic watched maybe 20 episodes with my son a few years back. It was pretty good, but seemed to follow the standard action anime tropes that I've seen in many other very popular anime. I definitely respect it and hope to get back and watch more of it someday. Unfortunately, I won't be able to make the live stream, but I will definitely catch up later. Cheers, brother. Happy holidays. That's what I'm saying. I wish it made the noise, the little duck noise, but that's the best I got for New Year's. For sure, Naruto follows tropes. I can't say it's perfect, but what I definitely appreciated about Naruto was that despite the tropes, everyone was integral in the story. So like even you got your side characters who are pretty interesting. I like the senseis, I like the students. They practice all types of jutsu, so not all of them are identical. There goes my laundry. We're off to a great start. But it's the professionalism that counts. Cheers, Sporadic. Always appreciate your inputs. The Completionist comes in with that always a great day when we get the return of Majora T Speaks. Hey, keep hyping me up. I appreciate that. I haven't watched any Naruto just simply because its overall length is incredibly daunting, and it might be a while before I give this anime a try. All right, to be fair, I understand that it's long, but I will give you a pro tip right now, having just come off of watching it for the second time. Originally, when I watched Naruto, I had watched it to the halfway point where Sasuke is battling Naruto and then leaves. I watched it again up until that point and everything after, and I realized that nothing that happened after was significant. There was nothing in there that I needed to see. So essentially, I just wasted my entire time watching the whole anime over just to find out that the second half of the series added nothing to the story. I could have just gone to Shippuden back in September when I had started rewatching Naruto, which is wild, but you could skip half of the later half of the episodes and not miss anything. It's not like Naruto Shippuden, which has filler, but the filler is a little more important than it is in the original Naruto. I would totally recommend Naruto because of characters and The music to me is phenomenal. I like the concept of a shinobi town. BioPhoenix comes in saying, as a teen, I liked it, but much later on, I realized it was just all right. I don't think it's as bad as a lot of people who think it sucks because it's popular, but I also don't think it's amazing as the hardcore fans think it is. It has its good parts, but also some lame parts. But I think that's what you expect for most shows that are really long. Even my favorites like Yu Yu Hakusho and Fist of the North Star, which have lots of episodes, have their slow moments that I tend to skip over. Okay, fair enough. And I kind of got that same gist too, that Naruto has a lot of hype nowadays. And I think even back then, back when it first released, it was hyped. What was this? Late 2000s? It was a little different for us American audiences, especially for the fact that it was being brought over. You know, it is very Japanese. There's kanji in the show. And I like that now. I like watching it and seeing kanji that are entry level because I study Japanese at an entry level. But at the same time, it's definitely catered to audiences that can digest it. So I'm with you. I don't think it's terrible. I think it has slow moments, as you say, but as do most anime. Not all of them are like that. Of course, you got your short ones, but anyways, great comment, BioPhoenix. Appreciate it. Centipede coming in, quoted me, bandanas on, chopsticks out. You know what that means. Cultural appropriation. Yeah, maybe, but whatever. It's more like, appropriating myself. But anyways, in all seriousness, Naruto is a little after my time, so please disregard my presence here. My anime phase didn't last all that long. It's never too late to get back into it, and I don't think Naruto is a terrible place to start, but you have to be willing to commit to it, which is a big thing. I got a few more here, and I lost the filter. I accidentally refreshed the page. Esteban coming in saying, I love Naruto, and now I'm at episode 108 of Naruto Shippuden. Last night I saw 107. Cheer, man. I'm on like the 70s somewhere. I haven't had the time to finish it because One Piece is a life consumer. I will never start One Piece. But I'm very hooked up on Shippuden, watching like 3 episodes a day. Sadly, I have to work Friday, but I'll try to watch the episode later in the weekend. See you soon, buddy. Cheer. See you, buddy. This is where I'm seeing you in my episode of Majora T Speaks. Now, here's the thing, right? Is that, it's addicting. It's really addicting to watch Naruto or Naruto Shippuden. Like, once you start one of these longer ones, it's really hard to stop. Well, actually, you could stop, but while you're watching it, one episode is never enough. You always got to click on the next one to see what happens. It's just that, I don't know. It leaves you on the edge with some cliffhangers by the ends of episodes, but it always gives you something to look forward to. And I think that's what I appreciate about Naruto. Dead Thumb Gamer coming in saying, the games are cool. The anime itself, though, I've never watched full episode. I have a few random still sealed season sets and possibly a couple of new inbox episodes. I think that's what NIB is. I don't consider myself an anime fan or collector either. I had no idea this video was going to be about Naruto. Later, T. Now, the games are something I'm looking forward to getting into. I actually have a box copy of a Game Boy Advance version of Naruto, which is absolute trash. I highly recommend you don't play it. But I appreciate the direction that the games are going and that the kids like them. The kids really like Naruto. Even the video games, like for the PS4, it's getting a lot of love. And the anime is getting a lot of love, too. I was really surprised to hear that there are 3 seasons of Naruto. And I guess maybe season's not the best way to put that, but installments in the Naruto series, like Naruto, Naruto Shippuden, Naruto to Boruto. Super cool. Dragon Ball does the same thing. You have Dragon Ball, Dragon Ball Z, Dragon Ball GT, Dragon Ball Super. But I didn't know Naruto was that well developed as far as an anime. So that's, I think, pretty impressive. Got a few more, just light comments. Nerd How to Plays. Great video. Love your content. Have a great Christmas. Merry Christmas to you, my friend. And Happy New Year. Silver Music Box. Never got into it, but it's okay, I guess. It's okay. Well, okay enough to have 3 full series worth. But anyways, just some added thoughts about Naruto. what I appreciate about Naruto, watching it now and having watched it before, is that it does come close to home. From the first episode, Naruto is a kid who, has unfortunate circumstances being brought up. And, the show is quite mature in spite of people calling it kiddie. Naruto perseveres against the odds, and he always tries to remain optimistic, but that does not stop the depression and the sadness from hitting him. But I love his spirit, his fighting spirit, his willingness to conquer that. And seeing how he inspires other characters in the show, your Rock Lee, your Gaara, even Sasuke to an extent, even if the response is negative, is inspiring in itself. And all of the characters are something special. It's not to say they're all like superheroes. They all have their flaws. Like Rock Lee doesn't know genjutsu or ninjutsu. He can only do taijutsu, which is physical. And yet he uses that to an edge. Naruto has amazing chakra, but he has no idea how to channel it. So seeing how they work together, the characters, how they work in teams, how it's not just about any one character, how sometimes it's hardly about Naruto at all, is pretty interesting. And even the second half of the series, which I said was filler, it was still fun to watch because I really liked the characters enough to see how they worked in different combinations, which is something the second half of the series did. It's not perfect by any means, but I appreciate Naruto, and I'm looking forward to watching more of it. So that's it for this week's Majora T Speaks. Looking forward to the next one. As always, be good, Majora T. See you later. Ladies and gentlemen, this is it. This is what you were waiting for. Don't ask me. I know. Table topics. There's a table right here. Look, I know it. You know it. Table topics is the highlight of this channel. It's what you come back here for. It's my riveting topics and my ability to make a topic out of what seems like nothing. Where other YouTubers fall short, I succeed. And that is in the topics. And today's topic comes out of this game right here, Metroid Samus Returns. And don't jump to conclusions. What I had said previously, if you were watching this in my first episode of Majora T, is that I played this game, I got to the final boss, and then I misplaced my 2DS. And I said, look, I really like this game. It's a lot of fun. I enjoyed my experience killing Metroids and bounty hunting and exploring. But I also thought to myself, would I go out of my way to do it again? To get back to that final boss and to kill it. Just to say I beat the game. And just to see what happens. And in thinking about that, I thought to myself, well, I would replace my 2DS without question. The thing's like $70. Even if I had to spend $100 and get a 3DS, I'd do it. If I had to get another copy of this game, $40, I don't mind dropping the money. But do I really want to invest all that time just to kill this final boss? And the answer to me was surprisingly no. Now, granted, I really like this game. I think what the developers and the creators did here was genius. I think it's a beautiful makeover, but I also don't want to do it. I don't want to spend another 5 to 10 hours going through the maps again and destroying the walls. Well, that's understandable, but there are games that I want to do that for. There are games that I go back and I finish. Even in Metroid Prime, I did that. I never finished the game when I was younger, although I got close. I replayed it again 2, 3, 4 years ago. Talked about it with my man Alex. Finished it. Loved it. This game, not so much. That to me is a drag. And I just don't want to do it. And maybe some of it's timing, but I could tell you that even 5 or 10 years from now, I probably still wouldn't want to do it. I feel like I got the experience from this game. And as bizarre as it sounds, that to me is what separates this game from Metroid Prime. And that's what, to me, makes Metroid Samus Returns a 4 and not a 5. My question for you in today's table topics is, what is the difference? What's the difference between a 4 and a 5? It doesn't have to correspond to my definition. It could be completely different. But I want to know, how do you know when a game earns 4 stars as opposed to 5? Some food for thought. Put that noggin to work. See you next time. We're going to answer this one in Majora T Speaks 6. The 4s and the 5s. Deuces. Deuces actually 2, so deuces. So in putting all of this video footage together, I was thinking to myself about this new feature that YouTube has added. It's called Premiere, where you can make video projects that you make video premieres on your channel. And I haven't actually seen it put to great use on a lot of other channels. Even in my subscription feed alone, I see people making vlog videos, premieres. And I'm not trying to throw anyone under the bus here. If you think it's you, it's probably not. Just being completely honest. But at the same time, I'm looking at this video that I'm making right now, this whole Majora T compilation of several videos, and to me it's like a big project, and like that's what I would want to premiere on my channel, especially since it's the first episode. Now, in the interest of time, I'm not going to do that. But, you know, I just want to give you guys some tips. Like, I know it's a new feature and people are trying to figure it out, but, you know, don't make every video you post a premiere. In that case, none of your videos are premieres. You know, think twice about how your content reflects you. That's what I've tried to be really aware of, especially going into this new year, is that I want my content to show my best side. And for me, I'm really thinking I'm doing it big. So, cheers, ladies and gentlemen. Thanks for watching the first installment of Majora T. I'm very excited. I'm still excited. And it's a great new year so far. So stay tuned. We're going to have more great content to come. Oh, man. Good old Majora T. These are so crooked. There we go.